Hi there. My name's
Hi.
Dakota with Fifth Avenue Cigars. You know what, Chad? You do it. Fuck you.
Hi, everybody. My name's Chad. I'm here with got Dakota, we got Chris, we got this guy Ben, and Lauren right next to us. We're
Welcome,
here
Lauren.
with Fifth Avenue Cigars with our monthly live stream, 5 on 5th.
It's 6 on 5th. Oh, no, it is actually 5 on 5th today. Yeah. And this is our monthly live stream where we just talk about Alascana, cigars. And this month we actually got the North American Regional Manager for McCatliff Cigars. Is that correct?
Is that my title now? I don't really have a title, but I'm pretty impressed. I kind of a mixed bag at McAuliffe, so I just jack of all trades. You can call me at McAuliffe.
Okay. We have
Well,
Lauren
thank you
at
for being here.
McCatliff, and then we also have Chris, who is
medevac pilot and ambassador for McAuliffe Cigars.
all right.
So Chris is a friend of the shop. Chris has been coming in for a while and shopping with us, which we appreciate. Thank you. And then also, once we finally got our lounge up and going, Chris is one of our early sign-on members and he's a staple of the scene around here.
His phone tells him that his home address is this lounge.
Yeah, right? Google thinks he actually lives here, apparently. So, anyway, so welcome and thanks for being here. Welcome,
thank
for
you.
joining us at the table. So we got McAuliffe, right? So this is not the first time. This is the first time I'm smoking one. But do you know Lauren Garrity from the
the AMP mechanic?
airplane mechanic. So he's been telling me about these for a while, actually. So I'm glad to finally try one. How did you get involved with the company?
So I was in North Carolina at a cigar lounge. Met one of their cigar reps there, Waylon. He introduced me to these. I had never smoked one in my life. Smoked 2 or 3 of them that night. Thought they were pretty amazing. So immediately went to the website to look them up and find out everything that I could about these. And so far, I'm very pleased.
Nice.
Good. That speaks well of a cigar.
And then, Lauren, if I may, how did you come into contact with McAuliffe? What brought you to do what you do today with these people?
Well, I've been a long time cigar smoker, so I've been smoking, I think, probably like 12 years at this point. You know, always going to cigar lounges, hanging out, smoking cigars. Didn't know much about them, of course. I couldn't tell you the difference between a Robusto or a Toro for that length of time.
Sure.
But about like 4 years ago, during COVID, I was in industrial sales at the time, and I was living in California, and I decided I wanted to make a career change. I didn't really like my job, so as soon as I got my bonus, quit my job, moved to Texas, and I was kind of in the financial luxury to like kind of start over, I guess, from the bottom up. So I decided to work at a cigar lounge for 10 months. I worked at Cigars International, and I worked in the humidor, and Al McAuliffe, who owns McAuliffe Cigars, kept coming in, made friends with him, and then he offered me a job about 3 years ago, and I've been working for the company ever since. So
Very nice.
yeah.
Awesome, I like it. So you got to work for Cigars International.
I did.
Were you at one of their like big stores? I'm stuck in Alaska. I've never got to go to like one of the mega stores on the East Coast, right? So what was that like?
So I worked in their new location in Fort Worth, Texas. They were just opening it up, so they were taking applications. So I was kind of lucky. I was able to get into the door. Like overall, like I don't really feel like Cigars International really is a good representation of what true cigar culture is. But at the same time, it was a very good learning experience because the humidor is like massive. It's like the size of a small store, essentially, the humidor. So I was able to pretty much smoke my entire way through and get a pretty intense education right away. So it made me enough to be dangerous, where I know pretty much like a little bit all about the brand. So I'm able to kind of recommend cigars, especially I'm better at selling them. I'm more knowledgeable in the cigar industry. So it was a good education.
Cool. Very cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, did Cigars International in Texas, is that the one that they also released the what's the one that we have upstairs with the bull or the bison on it? Buffalo Trace. Is that
Buffalo Trace? Yes.
That's a store that they opened for the Buffalo Trace cigar one?
Yeah, I believe so.
Good.
They have a few of them. They're technically they're owned by the Scandinavian Tobacco Group, so general cigar, so those overhead brands like Monte Cristo, Macanudo, Romeo and Julieta, Punch, and all of them, they are basically in the same company as those other brands. So
I do find it
cigar
entertaining that the Scandinavian cigar company basically owns almost 40% of the market share.
Pretty much.
Which is insane. And I don't even know if they're actually based in Scandinavia anymore.
I have no idea, honestly.
It
evil overlords to me.
Yeah, it's like dudes in overly expensive suits and back rooms drinking way too expensive scotch.
Shape-shifting into lizards.
Yeah.
Lizard people.
You try to hand somebody a lighter, but you go translucent, so they drop it.
It reminds me of like, so the Koch brothers, they have one specific mansion that they host everyone in for their events. And they have a wine cellar that also has a bathroom, right? So you sit in the wine cellar, you drink these $3,000 bottles of wine. And then you go and you piss into a golden urinal. And that just seems like the same kind of environment for the Scandinavian cigar company. Like, it's just pure opulence.
It sounds like a trap to me, honestly.
You're right, yeah.
I mean, I don't know, if you said a golden bidet, maybe be a trap.
Golden bidet, yeah.
I feel like that's more enticing than a golden urinal.
Anyway.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the McAuliffe cigars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've got a few here. I'm not sure exactly what we all have.
Which one did you go with, Chad?
Whatever this blue banded one is.
So what is the blue band?
There was not anything else labeling it.
So you have the McAuliffe Blue right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I was right.
I mean, or did you guys go with my recommendation, which is the black?
Two of them did.
I mixed it up. So I really, for myself, Dakota and Cris were smoking
the black.
The black. And so I figured I should smoke something different. So I tried the Magdalia.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, great. All right,
Yeah.
so I put like a few of the flavorings over there. So I guess I'll start out with the lightest body cigar, which is the McAuliffe Blue. So I guess I'll just start off with actually our color series, which we came out with starting out last year at PCA 2023. We originally came out with the McAuliffe Black, but I'll start with the McAuliffe Blue, and then I'll kind of go in with the story here. So our president, Dan Thompson, pretty much was predicting where the market was going to be at for cigars in 2012. And he was foreseeing with the increase of inflation and the cost of everything, and especially a lot of cigar manufacturers were continually making like very expensive cigars. Like that was like the market for the last 5 years. Like every manufacturer that was coming out with a new release every year, they were coming out with $100, $50, $150, sometimes a $500 cigar. So he was kind of foreseeing that there was much needed for a budget-friendly, good quality, but yet lower cost cigar. So we, as a manufacturer, started to kind of condense where we could cut costs. So we decided to buy our tobacco a different way. A lot of manufacturers or a lot of brands will buy their tobacco from crop instead of seed. We decided to do a seed. There's a higher risk to that because you don't know how the crop's going to come out, but it's more economically sound. So we did it that way. We decided to design our boxes a little bit differently to make sure we can cut costs on that and not, put it onto the price of the cigar. So then when 2024 came around, we released the McAuliffe Blue. So when you look at the price of cigars, I don't know how your guys' tobacco taxes, it might be a little different when it comes to retail prices. I'm sorry?
136%.
Oh, shit. I'm not good at math, so I don't even know. But basically, it's a really good price for a Toro and Robusto with the two sizes we came out with. But the McAuliffe Blue, that's going to be a San Andreas Sumatra wrapper on it. So it's going to be medium body. It's going to have a nice natural sweetness to it, a little bit of spice, but a very gentle spice. I always call it like a cinnamon spice. So it's not very aggressive. It's very sweet and gentle. So it's a really good medium body, smooth cigar on that.
Yeah, so far, perfect with that light spice for what I'm getting. I'll check out for the sweetness, but of course I drink sweet drinks with my cigars. So I mean,
Red Bull, that's okay. It's okay. I drink White Claw too on a daily basis, so I'm not fancy at all.
Chad's the best like control because he has a Red Bull with every cigar.
Pretty much.
So like whenever we're like, Chad, was it a good cigar? And he's like, it was. And we're all drinking various different things. And it's like, all right, well, we'll try it again, you know?
No, it's funny because when I saw you guys making old fashions, I recommended the black because I know the blue would get overpowered by the old fashioned. So I'm relieved that you're not drinking an old fashioned with it. I think I might have to try it with a Red Bull to see how it tastes.
It's not bad.
I mean, Red Bull just tastes like pure diabetes to me, but
I'm glad you know what diabetes tastes like. Such a weird
apple juice.
Yeah. So with your cigar.
Okay, yeah. So I guess we're going around Migdalia. I'm just starting to get quarter, half or so inch into here. What could you tell us about this cigar?
So we were talking a little bit off air, but so that was the original, one of the original cigars that we first started with in our Legacy series. And McAuliffe, to begin with, is owned by Al McAuliffe. He's a self-made businessman over here in Texas, got his wealth from a silicone, but he ended up teaming up with the Gomez Sanchez family. And the Gomez Sanchez family, they have a very long history and legacy in the cigar industry. They are 3 generations of cigar rollers dating back to Cuba. And Migdalia, she is the Gomez Sanchez matriarch of the Gomez Sanchez family. And she used to roll for Fidel Castro back in the day. So she lives in Miami now, but she actually made that blend specifically. So that is in honor of her. We have it in different sizes. And then we also have a 5x40 Vitola or size of a cigar that we released in honor of Women's International Day 3 years ago. Because I've heard a lot of people think that cigars are just made for men, it's just a man's club, boys club, but really women play such an important part in cigars in the cigar industry. So
of course,
it's an honor of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, perfect. Excellent. Well, I'm enjoying it so far.
What can you pick out on it so far? Because our tasting notes are going to be different than like our palate and vocabulary for picking out tasting notes is going to be different from anyone else, right? So like everyone has their own notes. Like some people pick out like diesel fumes and like iodine. I've talked to people who are like, oh, this reminds me of like sea salt. And I was like, that's good for you.
Well, I will say, fortunately, I'm not picking up diesel or iodine on this, but I have noticed a couple of very subtle sweet notes. There's a little bit of a woodiness to it. Maybe a subtle touch of actual like salt or savoriness, like nothing too much, but I don't know, it's kind of balanced. I'm just getting into it, so it's kind of hitting its sweet spot here, and I don't know. So it's pleasant. It's like a nice medium body.
Yeah.
And nothing that's like blowing my lid off, but it's like as far as like strength or spice or wood or pepper or whatever, but it's just, I don't know, it's kind of like right in the little sweet spot. And I was getting some more sweet notes, but now that I'm smoking it more, I actually get a little more savory. So I'm curious to see where it goes from here. I'm enjoying it very much so far.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to destroy the experience. I kind of want to keep my opinion to self just to see how you experience. But like Migdalia is it could be a very earthy and like leathery cigar. I feel like for a more seasoned smoker, it'd be more medium body, especially in that Toro size. And then maybe for someone who likes the lighter body things, they would think it's more medium to full.
Sure.
We do offer it in smaller Vitolas, like the 6x46 and a 4x46. And with those smaller Vitolas, it will have a little bit more spice to it, a little bit more kick. But I feel like it's definitely smooths out. It's more easygoing in that Toro, which I think is still a great representation of the blend. So it really just depends on everyone's palate, what they pick up. But definitely a really good, solid, just flavorful, complex cigar.
Yeah, I agree. Lots of like nothing, no one element of it is like standing way out, but it's just pretty well balanced. And yeah, I would as somebody who smokes cigars pretty frequently, I would say medium, maybe medium full. But yeah, it's progressing very nicely so far.
I had that the other night, and it was, I don't know, like I didn't have to relight it, and it lasted me almost 4 hours. it was a bizarre experience for me. Like I was puffing on it like I normally do, dealing with business and stuff, and that was the only cigar the whole night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for the information.
What about you, Chris? What are you getting out of that? You're having the black. What is the makeup on the black, by the way?
So, the blend. So it has a San Andreas Maduro wrapper on it. It has Ecuadorian Habano binder and then Nicaraguan Dominican filler. It has a lot of Ligero in it, so it definitely has a very significant nicotine content in it. It's the strongest cigar we've ever made. It's part of it was the original starting point of our release of the colored series. So it became before the McAuliffe Blue. So we came out with the McAuliffe Black 2023 PCA. It actually got Best Cigar of the Year from Cigar Authority 2023. So we're really excited about that. Again, it has a very approachable retail price point for a lot of consumers, which is excellent. You know, we don't want to break the budget, but it's just a great cigar. Very complex, flavorful, but not super peppery, which is nice for a strong cigar. I feel like a lot of manufacturers, when they make a very strong cigar, they also want to make it super obvious and peppery. And sometimes we just want to concentrate on just flavor. You know, there's a beauty in the subtleties of flavor. So that's a good representation of it.
Very nice.
Yeah, I think so. I'm horrible at flavor notes in cigars unless it's one thing that stands way out.
Yeah.
What drew me to these originally when I was at that shop in North Carolina was the price point.
Maybe you can hand
Because as an Alaskan, everything's expensive. So when I travel, if I can find something at the right price, I will buy a lot of it.
Don't want to blow on your face.
It definitely, like you said, has that nicotine kick, but it's not overpowering flavor-wise. You know, it's got very light, I would say, light black pepper to it, maybe.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's just a great cigar, and it's not one of those bland, $5 Maduros you buy that have strength, but one flavor all the way through. So I'm probably, half inch into this thing?
Yep.
I'm really bad at distances, too.
It's okay. Sometimes it's just a good cigar, and you can just say it's a good cigar. Like, you don't have to over-explain it.
It's for just a Maduro cigar, it's fantastic. It just has the right amount of flavor and strength to it, especially like you were saying earlier with the old fashioned. It's not being overpowered by the drink.
Yeah.
No, it's not. And that's what's good about fuller body cigars that can kind of hold up. I mean, you can't go wrong with pairing like whiskey and whiskey cocktails with cigars, but sometimes some cigars are just too gentle to hold up to it without being overpowered by the whiskey.
Sure.
Now, Dakota, you were saying you were getting a little bit of a more powerful retrohale than you're used to.
So
I saw you.
You do the retrohale. You're a brave soul. I still don't do that.
I don't recommend doing a retrohale on this. It reminds me of the Valkyrie from Man of War, as far as the retrohale. So it's got mild spice throughout it, a little bit of a little bit of white pepper, not black pepper where you feel like sneezing and stuff, but like a little bit of white pepper, a little bit of burn to it in the background. Very earthy, almost a creamy mouthfeel, which I do enjoy. Not overly oily, but like those plumes that come off of it are just part of the enjoyment, and it's like nice curling plumes that come off of it. The flavor profile is a little bit complex for me to hammer down, but I did a retrohale, and that pepper came right up in my eyes. But overall, it's pretty stellar, I would say.
I've been partially retrohaling this guy, and it is, even being a lighter cigar, still a little bit powerful on the nose with the retrohale with the blue here. So if this one's a little strong, I could just imagine.
My eyes watered.
You were about to sneeze at least once or twice.
I was like, oh my God.
No, I've been smoking for a long time, and I still don't do retrohaling. I just feel like I get burnt cedar or whatever every time. I'm just not good at picking it. So you guys are good. Like, you guys are very more experienced this season when it comes to that. So.
Oh, no. It's just I like to see if I can test myself if I can hold back the sneeze or not.
No,
Well,
this-
is it like, do you guys base like your rating system if it's sneeze worth? Is it good when you sneeze? Like, does that mean it's a good cigar? Like, I'm just
Sure satisfying
curious.
when you keep that big old sneeze out.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. You
I
know?
think I retrohaled the Filthy Hooligan from Alec Bradley, and I did the Valkyrie from Man of War, and both of those just like I was just sheer tears for like 10 minutes, just like, oh my god.
Yeah, just some things you don't want to retrohale, but I mean, I'll pretty much retrohale every single cigar I have, just a natural reaction while smoking. But not too often do I get one where I won't, and or where I'll sneeze. But when I do, it's kind of a interesting like shocker to the system when that happens.
Yeah, you let the smoke kind of cool down in your mouth, and then you push it on out, and it's just like, okay, what are the actual flavors I'm tasting here? You know. No, this pretty. I'm assuming these are all long filler for the most part.
Yes, they are all long filler. The only ones in our series that are long and short filler are our McAuliffe A and then our Torcedoras, which you guys do not have currently.
Okay, yeah. So like I was smoking this, and the ash was super white and just continue on down. If I was super careful, I could probably get to the nub.
Yeah.
Like that. That's not something I normally see on something that would be like a mid-range cigar. That was actually pretty impressive. Like if I really tended that, like I could get all the way to the nub quite easily, which is hard for me to do.
Yeah. You know, and honestly, sometimes short filler kind of gets a bad rap, but like with our long and short filler, we call them Cuban sandwiches. Like we do make them really good quality. It's not like we like pick off like, I don't know, like leftovers off the factory floor and put them in the cigars. They still are very well selected. So even our long and short filler cigars have really good construction on them.
Yeah, from the halcyon days of yore, it's not stems and seeds.
Yeah, it's not at all. Not at all.
So we're going to catch up on some comments here. So we have Texas Taurus coming in here.
What up, Texas? How you doing, bud? Thanks for tuning in.
I told him to
Appreciate
behave because he is very
fun. Just say fun.
He's fun. He's uncouth, but he's fun.
Let's see.
We got Jess coming in here. Stupid is what it is.
I think he was
That was
talking
the
about
taxes.
taxes. He
Yeah.
said stupid is what it is in the taxes. Yeah, I think anyway.
Hope everyone is doing good.
Yep.
We got Dave coming in. What's good, fellas? And me, lady.
Oh, I'll be.
Hey, Ms. Lady.
I'm a Ms. now. Ooh,
I'll be
so
right back. I
What up, Dave?
gotta
Good to see
grab
you,
something
bud.
from upstairs.
No worries.
All right.
Texas Taurus, saying Dave, thumbs up.
Got some hellos.
We just try to give everyone their little
Oh no, I get it. I do live streams all the time.
cheers to you as well. We got Mike coming in here hot. As many cigars as Cris smoked, I've expected him to pick up the subtlest of flavors.
Oh, we got Dr. Caffey in the house.
Yeah.
Caffey, what's up, bud? Thanks for joining us. Caffey 1901.
Yeah, we got another cigar maker in here.
Excellent.
Let's see here.
Caffey 1901 makes some excellent Dominican. You know what? Actually, this is new to me, so I haven't even considered what country these are coming from. Esteli, of course. Yeah, anyway. But love me some Caffey 1901.
We do have our own factory in Esteli, Nicaragua, so that's a good point for us. You know, it's really rare when a small brand has their own factory.
Excellent, yeah. But thanks for being here.
Yeah.
So a little bit of history on McAuliffe. So like you were saying that they are a long and storied family.
Yes, so the McAuliffe family, I guess, dates back to like 1500s, Maltese, so somewhere in Italy. So they, date back. Al is very passionate about researching his family and family crest. So originally, the McAuliffe family were lawyers back in the day. So that's what the when you see the crest, it's like that. It's like, it looks like two saws put together. And so basically the meaning of that, essentially it's justice or the law. It can work with you and also work against you. So that's what it represents on the family crest. So it's very interesting. And we were talking about prior with the McAuliffe crest. So we were talking about the Fuentes, Arturo Fuente. They originally saw our family crest and our logo on our brand. They thought it was too close to Opus X, but with further, I guess, guidance from the McAuliffe, I guess, legal team, we date back from the 1500s. So Opus X has only been around, I forgot how many, not as long as that. So they were able to remove their cease and desist off of us. So good for us. Cool. We won that battle.
Awesome. Yeah. If he's from Malta, that means he's potentially linked up to the Knights Templar, because Malta was granted to them as like a subsidiary city-state kind of situation. And at the time, that would have been entirely English with the local, people there. But like, if he has some sort of existing like patent of nobility existing from there, he'd be English.
Yeah, I do believe he does. There is a knight in his family dating back to that. From what I've heard, I hear little bits and pieces, and I think he has said that there's a knight in his family as well.
I mean, it's been over 500 years. Like, who can tell?
I do. Yeah, turns out King Arthur, he used to actually smoke these at the round table. McAuliffe
oh my God!
They went on a giant quest
to find more leaf.
To find the holy grail of cigars. And, McAuliffe is what they brought back, apparently. I mean, it's not my words. History said. I didn't say it. Somebody else.
Yeah, it's in a book somewhere.
Right.
So I ran upstairs real quick because I saw Jess Salzman is comment up there, and I forgot to bring this down earlier. This is what Jess made for us.
Do you want me to bring the top down?
Oh, Jess. Okay, I didn't even realize. Yeah, what's up? So shameless self-promotion right now, as well as
promotion to Jess, since he's going to be making these for everybody.
Right here.
So what we got is a nice little Fifth Avenue Cigars cigar case that kind of all screws together. Nice little deal here to
super fast.
Take on your little trips.
You really secured that.
You got to be strong.
That's that Red Bull strength, son.
Yeah. Basically, you can fit one of our things of matches in there.
It holds three Toro size cigars plus one of our little patented box of matches, and it looks cool as hell. Durable.
The Jess, he'll probably have a link in the comments here for if you want one made with your logo on it, or if you want to come and get one of ours here at the shop, we'll go ahead and have them out for sale.
We got Dave coming in here hot. Chris gave me a McAuliffe Black in Toro the other day. Just wanted to thank you for that. Letting him. Oh my God!
Until December.
Dakota's got terrible.
Oh my God!
He's gonna let it rest till December. He's taking it with him to the Philippines.
It's well rested, I assure you. But you know what? You can't. Luckily, cigars aren't food. You can let them sit for a very long time. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
And Dakota with the impromptu history lesson, of course.
Yeah.
And just for Mike giving me shit on not knowing my flavors now that I've smoked a little more and I'm in it.
Yeah.
I maybe I'm wrong, but to me, I get a little bit of like a leathery flavor to it, but a good one, not like cheap leather.
Yeah.
Bougie leather.
Real.
Yeah.
Little something you can gnaw on for a while. Not boots like in the Civil War, but
exactly.
Not that kind of leather. Not desperation leather. Jesus.
I'll add that in my sales pitch. You guys are just giving me material. I love it.
It's got a leather flavor, but not desperation leather. Like
not like starvation leather, where you're on your last leg.
We're not talking about the Donner Party, you know.
All right. So, Cris, you got into the cigars, but what else do you do? You got the flight thing going on?
Yeah, so in my day job, I fly medevac airplanes as a first officer throughout the state, and then I do volunteer search and rescue flying around as well.
And so you said you're on call a lot?
Yeah, so when I work my normal day job, I work 12-hour rotations on call. So I get to hang out and smoke cigars until someone needs me.
Where do you hang out?
I usually hang out here at the lounge. So, it's a nice, quiet place.
Where is the lounge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well,
Shameless self-promotion.
hey,
So,
it's
Cris,
nice.
do you have like a significant like story that just stands out in your mind about what you do, or like that you experienced?
Not any one thing specifically. I originally came from a career in the fire department. So I've always liked helping people and doing things. Aviation is something I started back when I was like 11 or 12 years old. Kind of put it on the back burner for a long time. And then finally just one day decided, you know what, I'm going to get back out there. I want to go fly planes. I want to get paid to do it. Firefighting is great, but this is way cooler because I get paid to travel and still help people.
So you go out to remote areas and pick people up and bring them back. And
Pretty
What's
much everywhere.
the
Yeah.
hairiest flight you've had to go pick someone up in? You don't do helicopters, you do planes, right?
Yeah, I do fixed wing. So I fly a King Air, a twin turboprop.
Okay.
So we use that instead of the jet to get into the smaller, more remote village strips.
What would be the hairiest situation?
You picked up Sasquatch once.
Right? We picked up people
A
everywhere.
goddamn bear.
It can be literally anything. They just need a ride to a hospital because they're in a remote village or they're actively having some life-threatening condition. We've flown into, I think it was McGrath during the Iron Dog. That was horrible weather out there. But, everything we do in the medevac world especially is super safe. If the weather's not good enough, we're not going to go.
Yeah.
We're not going to put our crew at risk.
Yeah.
When I flew cargo, that's a whole different world up here.
You're gonna fucking go.
Yeah.
Really?
I went to Dutch Harbor on a regular basis, and out there it's never good weather.
No.
Is it funny though? Like if it's stuff, like you got to risk your life, but it's people like, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. The weather's bad.
Right. Like we've got, the FAA has put out, here's the minimum weather you need, no matter what type of operation it is. And obviously we always fall within that. But companies, they're going to do that risk versus benefit, right?
Yep.
And we're not going to risk a crew of 4 people to go save 1 if it's questionable.
You got corporate profits over people's lives with the cargo. So
exactly.
So with the people that are in like a stable condition, do you like go into the back of the plane real quick and like here light up real quick?
I'm waiting for that day where I have a flying job that I can smoke a cigar in the plane.
That'd be
I have
pretty
yet to find that. I used to for a very short stint fly charter jets.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one where the passengers were allowed to smoke, but we as crew were not.
Oh.
So you could smell the cigar smoke. You just couldn't do anything with it.
You can't just open the window?
I want to smell it.
So basically you want to be like Bill Gates's personal pilot, so you can smoke with them and like enjoy and
Absolutely.
everything.
I mean, it was the 50s. You could totally smoke in the plane, right?
Right.
Oh, good old days.
See, and this is where I think, McAuliffe needs their own jet.
Good
And we
point.
can travel
He used to have his own jet. He did. He now just, if he has to fly private, he just charters them. So,
A little bit cheaper that way.
Yeah.
yeah. And well, actually, Al McAuliffe used to be a helicopter pilot as well in the military. So he's done that as well.
That's pretty awesome.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've known a few helicopter pilots. They're very different. They're more stressed out.
I feel like they're adrenaline. Well, I don't know. I feel like anyone who flies planes, they're adrenaline junkies because I get like when I just fly normally, if I hit turbulence, I get a little nervous. Like I just don't know what to do with my body. There's like
just unbuckle your seatbelt and go for a ride. Just
flying into McGrath that one time. Did you guys hit like just dead pockets where you dropped?
Yeah, small ones. Not a whole lot during that. Now, I spent a short stint of my career before I became a pilot as a flight attendant.
Turboprop, right?
Yep.
So turboprops don't have the same experience that jets do.
Yes and no. It depends
It's different.
Yeah, it is a little different. Jets are also flying a lot higher, so they hit different turbulence than we do.
Okay.
You know, now
we're going to drop 500 feet now.
Wait, no, what you fly, you hit a lot of turbulence, don't you, all the time?
Yeah, because we don't necessarily have the ability to get up above everything. So we're in the weather.
No, so you're not putting in any sort of stitches at
exactly
altitude.
Yeah, you know, it's not like in my fire department days you would yell sharps out, you know, so the driver knows, hey, don't hit a bump.
Yep.
I don't know where the bump is.
Yep.
It finds me.
Cris, while we've got you kind of in the spotlight here, one thing I'd like to ask all of our guests, so, you know, pilot, firefighting, all this kind of stuff, how did cigars come into your life? When did you decide that premium tobacco, excellent cigars, when did this become a thing in your life that you wanted to enjoy and pursue?
So back in 2018 was when I really buckled down and decided, hey, I'm going to finish all my flight training. And back then I knew, like, when I graduate from everything, that's when I want to light my first cigar. Because you see them in the movies, you smell them, you know, like they're amazing. But
we have those people every day in the humidor, like, hey, I'm about to graduate, get married, move or something, and they want to commemorate it. So it was like that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a special occasion thing, because I've never smoked anything in my life. So I was always putting it off because I'm like, well, instead of this one, I'll wait till my next certificate, my next rating, you know. And I kept putting it off. And then a buddy of mine that I used to be a firefighter with showed up one day at the airport with a couple cigars, and he said, I'm done waiting. We're fucking smoking right now. So I started off, you know, my go-to was always a Connecticut, like a couple a week here and there. And then I found Maduros and realized I could handle them after the first couple months, and I never looked back, and now I smoke a lot.
Sure. I will attest. Yeah, I see you here a lot.
Yeah.
There's always like the catalyst, like you meet somebody and they had a cigar and like, screw it, I'll try it. And you know, that's like your main thing.
Well, and traveling around the country too, the amount of people that I've met in cigar lounges, you know, I feel like cigar smoking really brings people together. It's one of those weird things where it doesn't matter what city, state, whatever I'm in, whatever people's backgrounds are, whether it's religion, political beliefs, anything, everyone's there for the same reason, to enjoy it and the camaraderie of it.
Yeah,
sure. Cigar smokers, they want to taste something, they want to experience something, they want to feel something, they want to get together and talk about something. It's I don't think there's a lot of bland, not to hate on anybody, but I don't think there's a lot of just kind of boring, bland, run-of-the-mill people who are just like really into cigars. Like it's for those of us who want to live and experience and taste and also make time to get together at the round table with your friends or whatever the details are. But
I mean, I've ended
cool
up
people together.
I've ended up smoking with NFL players that, you know, I had no idea they were even into sports because I don't know anything about sports.
Same. Are you don't? Thank God.
Yeah, I'm from Alaska. We don't really have sports.
None of us do team sports. Although there is UFC in the lounge right now. We like the fights, but
I'm just never into sports, so
I'm
I found my common brethren right now.
Into sports out of all of us, since I was doing the curling.
Right.
Chad is a professional curler. So.
Yeah, highly professional. I get paid.
He is the.
You're a professional curler?
No.
He's an adopted
as professional
Canadian.
As anybody else gets, you know?
He does enjoy it though. It's something he does as much as he can.
We actually have like a curling club here in Anchorage. Like it's not like a huge deal, but like it's part of the community.
But when you're a part of it, it's a huge deal. But you know, some people just come in and hang out.
They've only been around for 70 odd years.
Yeah, I think longer than that.
Yeah.
But
goddamn Canadians.
It's just a good time hanging out, have a few drinks whenever you can, and you know, well, play while you're drunk too is fun. But
is that where you get your Moosehead lager?
Moosehead? You mean Molson Canadian?
Yeah.
Molson Moosehead, man, those Canadians don't make sense.
Right,
man. I like Canadian beer.
But well, unfortunately, they don't smoke cigars in the curling club anymore. So
really?
It's kind of like a big no-no in there. So
I mean, the laws.
law kind of inhibits that. So.
Yeah.
You know, Lauren, it just occurred to me because I was about to be like, all right, let's talk about our mid cigar stuff, but like no one's asked you, what are you smoking and what?
Well, I am smoking the McAuliffe Black currently.
Black, okay.
Yes.
What do you get up? What does your palate tell you? What are you experiencing?
Well, you know what? It's funny. So when I used to sell cigars, I was better at picking up stuff, and now it's just like I smoke them, and I'm like, it's good. It's a good cigar.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
try it. Well, you tell me.
I walked into a lounge the other day, and I was talking to like one of the customers there, and I was like basically talking about the McAuliffe Blue. I was telling him, you know, the notes and everything. He's like, yeah, like all that, right? I'm like, yeah, all that bullshit. It's just a good cigar. Just smoke it, please.
I love that. I like it too. So, you know, I sell cigars, so like I have to have things to tell people, and I don't bullshit anybody. So I have to come up with something like, oh, this one's creamy to me, or mocha or something. So I have to have things because people want me to tell them that. But in my mind, and for me, I'm very much the same. I'm just like, I either just like it or I don't. You know, I'm smoking and I'm enjoying it. On camera, I'm like, okay, what do I taste? Because I got to say something smart, right? But at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, I just like it or not. So I kind of agree with your assessment.
Well, to be fair, though, like I feel like everyone's palate's different, so we pick up on certain things. Like I know, especially, okay, so like the McAuliffe Black, for example, has a San Andreas Maduro wrapper. So I feel like every time I smoke a San Andreas Maduro, or even a Connecticut broadleaf. So San Andreas Maduros, like I feel like I get more coffee, chocolatey notes. Connecticut's are very the same way, but Connecticut's are going to be more creamy for me. It's just like whatever you pick up on, like what your palate is predominant in, like that's what I feel like, you know, depending on which cigar you smoke. So it's always different for certain people. I mean, I feel like some people who get like the very subtle shit are just, they're full of shit.
So you're saying that Woodford Reserve,
or I don't know, maybe they're just on another level of snobbery that I'll just never partake in. I don't know, but like obvious flavors like Maduros, coffee, chocolate, like maybe natural sweetness, Habanos will have a lot of cedar to me, maybe leathery, maybe earthy. Connecticut's are going to be a little bit different. They're going to be a little bit more subtle, like maybe like white pepper, like stuff like that. But overall, like, you know, the difference between a good and bad cigar. Like, I don't think you need to be like an entire like connoisseur to understand that 100%.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I'm kind of like inside, I weigh like 500 pounds. I love food. And so I use food a lot as an example when I talk to my customers. And I'm like, okay, so cigars don't all taste the same, but think of like a cheeseburger. You've probably had 100 different cheeseburgers in your life from different places. They all taste like cheeseburgers.
Every once in a while, you get that one cheeseburger.
What type of beef was it? What type of cheese was it? What kind of bun? So there's like little subtle differences. Like you said, most Maduros, you're going to get some sort of coffee espresso. You're going to get some dark chocolate, etc. But there's little subtle things that your palate is going to pick up on. So I can tell you what I experienced, but you're going to have your own thing. But I like to use cheeseburgers as an example. Like, they all taste like cigars. There's just going to be little subtle underlying notes that your palate's going to pick up on.
And cigars are very much a psychological experience. Like, if you're having a great time and you have a good cigar, that cigar is going to imprint in your memory forever. Like, there's certain brands that I will love to the end of time because the first time I tried them were just, I had a great people, great conversation, great experience surrounding it. So that really goes into a cigar. And sometimes I tell people, like, when they didn't enjoy a cigar, I'm like, okay, what kind of mood? Were you in a bad mood?
Yeah.
Like, if you're in a bad mood, maybe you should try it again. You know,
I think you're 100% correct on that.
Yeah. Like, we'll change the bands. We'll just rebrand the cigar, and they'll be like, people will tell me, oh, it's a different cigar. Like, no, it's not different. We just changed the band. Like, calm down.
Yeah, when people talk about pairings, they usually mean the liquor, but it's like the company you're with, the air you're breathing, your mood. You're exactly right, in my opinion. I think I agree 100%.
I mean, I've had cigars on a patio, and then in here where it's kind of, you don't have to deal with the wind and everything and the atmosphere. And I don't know, cigars that I enjoy here aren't quite as enjoyable like out on a patio. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you guys are in Alaska, so that's So,
Well, no, it's we
Depends on the day.
we got temperate weather. It's not bad.
If
Summertime's
you
nice.
get those windy days and you just don't want to be out in it. If it's a little overcast, it's a better feeling being downstairs in the lounge and relaxing.
Well, like what I've always told people too, give cigars 3 chances. Because if your first time's a bad experience, your second time might be good, right? But now you're a 50-50 split.
Yep.
You could have grabbed one bad one good one out of a box, or the group you're with, what you're pairing it with, food or drink.
You're describing Cubans.
Hey,
Like to
everything
the
I
T.
smoke is 3.
But I mean, like not every you could have a person that's been rolling pretty much all their life. They can't control the plant every single time.
No,
there's going to be
it's
subtle
a variable.
differences.
It's a
But
variable.
it's going to be very similar, but there's going to be some that you might get a bad leaf.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
people forget that cigars are a handmade product. Like it's insane when you really think about it. When you open a box of cigars and they all look the same, those have all been hand selected. The tobacco has been all hand selected, hand rolled, and everything looks the same. It's insane, like the consistency there. So yeah, sometimes it fails, and that's okay. Like sometimes you might get a bad cigar. Like I wouldn't say a bad cigar. Maybe it's not lighting properly or something.
Now, I've got a customer that comes in and she loves everything by AJ Fernandez for the first production of whatever he makes. The second production of that cigar, she's like, there is definitely something different. Like
it's alpha and beta testing right there.
Yeah, she always sits there and will say something about it's not as good as that first time I had there.
We actually got Tom coming in here with a cromulent comment here. He's a firm believer that your tastes change over time, and a cigar you didn't like in May might hit just perfectly right now.
It's true.
Yeah,
I mean, for me personally, I'm more a medium full body. That's my palate. But the more I've worked in the cigar industry, I really appreciate a good mild cigar sometimes. And your palate changes. You tend to explore more the more you get involved with cigars. So sometimes you start out with like the more appreciation of the obvious flavors, and then you try more things or you smoke at different times of the day, and then you just start to actually fall in love with the subtleties of flavors. So it's a journey like anything. Like even alcohol, like definitely on a journey with alcohol.
Yeah.
That's a good,
It was probably about a month ago. Tom actually gave me a Connecticut from a guy we had met in the lounge here smoking. There's a pilot that travels all over the world in a private jet.
Okay.
He recommended it to us. It's a cheap Connecticut. I don't even remember what it was called, but I don't like Connecticut's anymore. They're too light for me.
Yeah.
But that thing in the morning paired with the coffee was perfect.
Mhm.
And that right there shows that I don't like most Connecticut's, but lately I can get into them more if they're paired properly, especially.
Yeah, and the time of day is very important when you smoke a cigar. Like first cigar of the day, I could easily smoke a Connecticut. If it's late in the day, absolutely not. Like I guess my taste buds have woken up and they're like, nope, sorry, we want something a little stronger. So when you're the first cigar of the day or early, like actually I never used to smoke in the morning. Now I absolutely love smoking in the morning with a cup of coffee. Every time.
Jesse's coming in here saying, I like to split my cigars winter and summer.
Oh, that's interesting.
We did skip over a couple comments back there. I know we had Mike.
I threw them up. So Mike chimed in saying that he ended up going with the black based on recommendations. He loved the initial smell and he's liking it so far. He's sitting over in the lounge right now enjoying
the fights.
Yeah.
And the company over there.
And the company. There is quite a bit of company over there right now. And we also got Tom coming in here saying that Florida man.
That's the cigar.
Okay.
Also, Mike said thank you for the cheeseburgers.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. He brought some for the table finally. Did you bring enough for the class? Is basically what I ask him every time. With flavor profiles, sometimes I really like cigar companies that don't take the Woodford Reserve approach. So like Woodford Reserve claims 43 distinct flavors. It's not. It's kind of a floral, semi-sweet bourbon, but it's a base level bourbon, and they claim like it's super complex. And then I look at cigar listings, and it's just like you claim 27 goddamn flavors. And in theory, I could pick out some of those depending on my palate, but like just like stick to the basics. Like we have premium tobacco, we handle it correctly, we do everything we can to make it a premium product. I prefer like a company just honest, like it's roll the dice, we tried our best, this is our product.
Well, I feel like it's like you're intimidating your consumers into submission, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's like, well, we got all these flavors, and if you didn't pick up on it, you're just not good enough. You know, you're not, I guess, educated enough to. Well, you can smoke the product, but you're gonna like it because you're just not educated enough. Like we don't believe that at McAlpha at all. Like you're gonna like it. I do feel our brand
It's like a
is
weird
more
kind of
like
gatekeeping.
I tried to retrohale.
the everyday consumer. Like I feel like that's the best. Like that's the best demographic to, basically cater to, honestly.
Yeah,
And
I would agree.
I will say on the retrohale of this specific cigar, it reminded me of the My Father Judge, which is the highest
I love the
content.
Judge.
It's the highest nicotine content cigar besides the Valkyrie that I've like retrohaled, and I was silent for a while because I was swimming. Like it hit me like a fucking brick. I was just like, oh my God, I need to not say anything for a few minutes and just kind of focus on life.
I will say the retrohale on this guy, the blue, has calmed down greatly. Like the first inch, that was a tickle in the nose quite hard, but now
Mike's
no
agreeing
problem.
with me here. Yeah, that retrohale is no goddamn joke. Like it waters your eyes, and then all of a sudden you're swimming for like 10 minutes, and you're just like, oh my God.
You're just treading water of life.
Yeah. That is a very heavy nicotine cigar.
One thing I like with this cigar too is they always tell you, right, each third is going to taste different.
Oh yeah.
But I've smoked a lot of cigars where they tell you that, and the whole cigar tastes the same all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be consistently good, but I would say still bland because there's no complexity to it, right? This has grown all the way through so far. So now that I think I'm down near the last third, I mean, it tastes a lot. I don't want to say better because that's not the right word, but there's more going on. The flavors are really there. Yeah.
So let's go around the table. Like as it's progressed, what are you getting, Chad?
The spices calmed down a little bit. First half of it was kind of I kind of want to say just drying out my mouth a little bit, oddly enough, but not in a bad way. Not like a cotton mouth for the ones that know. It was pleasant, you know. So the spice, very, very minimal. Retrohale has gotten a lot easier. Just a nice, pleasant cigar so far. I like it. Very much appreciated.
What about you, Ben? That is
This is I just have
the
my Migdalia. Yeah. Well, to put it simply, I'm enjoying it. it is a nice medium body stick right now. I'm kind of perfectly mid stick. It's very smooth. There is maybe a very subtle spice, but not much. It's just kind of super background, subtle sweetness. Maybe a very slight touch of like kind of leather as far as the mouthfeel or whatever. It's very well balanced. There's slight notes of like a bit of slight cedary, a slight leather, a slight sweetness, very very slight spiciness. So it's nothing. And this might be a good time too. I'm drinking some Buffalo Trace from our friends at Allocated over here, a single barrel selection, and this cigar is strong enough to go with this whiskey. I'm just drinking it neat, and they're pairing nicely together. Neither one's stepping on each other, so it's strong enough to be an evening time cigar to go with my whiskey, but it's not kicking my ass in any way. I've been retrohaling the whole time. I'll be honest, I enjoy retrohales on cigars, but I don't feel like it usually super enhances my taste notes or whatever. You know, I'm like, oh, it's definitely peppery when you retrohale or whatever, but I don't know. I think it's smooth, it's tasty. I did one touch up. Maybe I lit it kind of funny, but I did one touch up about 5 minutes into smoking it, but after that it's burning super
Rounded
nice.
out pretty well.
Yeah, it's burning very well. Like it still feels very solid to the touch. Construction quality is great. I like this cigar. This is overall just a great
I think she switched
medium body cigar, and I'm digging it.
All right, we're gonna get this fixed here real
We
quick.
got something going on
We
here.
got to pop over to our other camera.
Yes. Sorry about that, guys.
Nah, it's perfectly fine.
yes. No, I worked an event on Friday and I left my laptop charger there. I just realized that. So now we're on my phone. So we're all good. We're all good.
It worked.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's okay.
Back
Bam,
up.
from the studio.
You're like in nighttime mode now. It's a little
I
darker.
know. I'm poor lady of this.
Cigars
The evening
after
is
jars.
progressing. Yeah.
That's your
You know,
next
whatever, it
podcast,
just-
Cigars After Dark.
Cigars after dark.
Yes.
Is that
yes.
what we
This is
should name
nighttime
this?
mode, guys.
Well, I mean, it's not dark.
That just means winter for us. Cigars
Yeah.
After Dark is winter.
Winter.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I've been to Alaska a couple times and it just threw me off. Like, cause where are you guys at? You guys are in Anchorage, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like it blew me away. It would be like 2:00 in the morning, and it was still like dusk. It was insane.
Oh yeah, it's just about what it is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we God, I was passed out on my couch the other day, and I just couldn't keep asleep because I had the curtains open and just light just pouring in right from the mountains. It just not a good place to sleep for me because it was nice and bright at 4 a.m.
Oh, jeez.
Passed out from too many Red Bulls.
No.
So wait, when does that switch over for you guys? When does it like it does it ever like, or is it just like daylight all the time? It's daylight all the time in the summer, right? And then it's just dark
Yeah.
in the winter.
So like March time frame, it starts getting lighter more than it is dark, and then I think it's September time frame, it starts getting darker. So
Oh shit.
October through January, you're gonna get the if you have a aversion to how much dark we get, that's the time to leave. Like my father does. He goes down to Florida for the winters.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, overall it's twilight in the summers and then you get nighttime for a good chunk of the day during the winters. But like it's not that bad. It's just when you go further north it gets more extreme. So like you go up to like Fairbanks, it gets pretty bad. And then you get up to like Barrow or something on North Slope, it's insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
North Slope, it doesn't get dark for like 2 months, it feels like. And working up there, it's pretty weird.
Yeah, I used to. I
even-
was a firefighter up on the oil field there.
Yeah.
And working night shift in the winter, I just didn't see the sun for 3 months.
Yep.
Oh wow. Does that like take a toll on your guys' psyche, or
So,
do you
I
guys
was
have
born-
really good coping mechanisms with that?
It depends. I mean, I was born and
Depends.
raised up here, so I'm used to it.
Yeah.
And like the nice thing with being up there, I saw the northern lights literally every night.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was still pretty at least.
Well-
It wasn't just pure darkness.
For me up there, I was constantly inside. And so if you went outside, it was you're going home to go or going to the barracks to go sleep. So it didn't really matter that it was dark or if it was light. You just made sure that when you get to your room, you shut them curtains.
I mean, I've always worked in a wire center or a basement or a shelter of some sort. So like you show up early in the morning, it's dark, you leave, it's dark. Like
Yeah.
that's just the way it is. And you just take vitamin D and have like a sun lamp in your house.
Mhm. Well, it's nice to know you guys will never have never have skin cancer over there. Get to places like Arizona, they have like skin cancer clinics everywhere.
Well, speaking of coming up here,
Yeah.
if you ever do come up here, we'll be more than happy to host you up here doing a McAuliffe
That'd
meet
be
and
so much
greet.
fun.
We've got
Yeah.
the lounge. We've got local venues outside. If you definitely come during the summer, so there's places we can sit outside and enjoy what little sun that we have in the months. But yeah, we'd love to do that. It'd be great.
Yep, plan a week. We'll take you to wherever you like. We generally treat our reps pretty well up here.
Yeah, how often do you
Yeah.
guys get reps out there? I can't
Um,
imagine.
A couple of times this summer. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a big ask when you're going around the country and doing frequent stops. It is a big ask to come all the way up to Alaska. But the last couple of years, we've had Two or three.
Yeah, I think definitely two, maybe three.
Sagrado and Karen Berger for sure, and I hope I'm not forgetting anybody.
We've had a couple randomly come in, not knowing that they were going to be reps.
Oh, that's a big ask for them to randomly come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On your guys' part. Like, that should be like in advance, honestly.
Oh yeah, we try to pair it up with the guys up in Fairbanks and make sure that when you do come up, you get to meet all the other companies around here.
You know, like multiple events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I love Alaska. I've been there a couple times. It's beautiful. I love Alaska a lot. It's just it's a cool spot of the country, honestly.
Plan like a work event of doing cigar stuff around a vacation, right? Like come deal with us for like a day or two and then go be on vacation in Alaska. That's what I always tell people. It's like everybody wants to come up here for personal reasons, but it's a big ask professionally. So kind of do both. Maybe have a vacation and do a quick cigar event while you're here. Did we get sidebarred while we were talking about cigars? Did we get?
How did yours progress, by the way?
With black over here, and we're getting down to sub half stick here.
Yeah.
What's going on with your smoke here, Chris?
So I'm getting more of a woodsy note out of it too now. It tastes great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a cedar necessarily. Some kind of good wood.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Good wood.
Like number 2.
You like that good wood.
Now,
I mean, women like to hear that, but I don't know if men do.
Right.
Depending what demographic they shoot for.
Hey, I like to be told good wood once in a while. Now, when it comes to like the retro hail, I don't get any flavor notes out of that, but I can tell when I do that, a cheap cigar, it's like an acidic burn.
Yeah.
Where anything else, I might tear up and not be able to breathe for a while.
Yeah.
But it's a good pain.
Yeah.
You know, it hurts so good. And this is definitely on that side of the spectrum.
I do feel like that's a good pain, you know, like especially when I'm drinking whiskey. Like I love the burn, like when it goes down.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's very satisfying to me. I don't know what this says about my personality, but it does.
I like it.
For me, I did do a retro hail on this, and for some reason, the spice tamed out quite a bit near the end of the stick. I'm getting almost like an oakiness out of it. Definitely earthiness. That like spice, which Oliva pontificates endlessly about, is coming through. And then it's got like a little bit of creaminess that's coming in at the end of the stick, which I really do enjoy. Like I want it to coat my mouth and like I want to taste it in between drinks and everything else.
Yeah.
That retro hail did kick me in my ass again. But overall, like it's a pretty good quality cigar. Like I can't say anything else except is good. Is good.
You sound like you're still suffering from that retro hail a little bit.
Just a smidgen.
I think he's saying the cigar has rendered him nearly speechless.
There we go.
You know, I like what you said about like how a cigar like coats your tongue. I feel like for me, when I describe that, I call it the weight of a cigar. You know, like when I'm smoking a cigar, I want it to have weight. I want it to like sit on my palate. I just don't want it to go through. And sometimes when you smoke milder cigars, sometimes, not all the time, like they're just passing through and they don't linger at all. And like, I feel like with a cigar, when it has a good quality and flavor, it's going to sit, it's going to linger. It's going to take residence on your palate for a little bit. So like you know that it's been there.
Yeah.
I agree.
So as we reach the top of the hour here, which we've already done, is there anything that you want to say or Chris wants to say, kind of a shout out of any sort?
Oh, me?
Yeah, for sure. You or Chris?
No, not necessarily. Like, I'm just appreciative to be here. So like any questions you guys have, I'm more than happy to answer.
Okay.
Chris?
I don't really have anything specific. I'm just happy that I'm here.
We're so happy to be here. It's great.
I'll jump in and just simply say thank you for taking the time to join us.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for the samples.
Yeah.
McAuliffe has generously sent us cigars to just smoke and try and enjoy.
We'll definitely be putting an order through.
Appreciate it. And
well, I hope so. But thank you so much for doing that. Thank you.
Yeah. So we appreciate it very much, and thank you for giving us your time and hanging out with us virtually like this. And then also, Chris, I mean, we see you every day, but
every goddamn day.
This is cool. We love bringing cool people to our little set and table down here. And thanks for giving us your time, man. I appreciate you very much. We appreciate you being a lounge member and a patron of our store and a friend. And thanks for hanging out, dude. This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope you've had a good time.
Oh, it's been a wonderful time.
Excellent.
I love being here.
Great. Cool.
And Lauren, thank you again.
It's all around.
Cheers to having you on here.
Yeah, cheers to everybody. Cheers to McAuliffe and Chris.
Cheers.
Ding.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, God, October.
Red Bull Flank. All right. Cheers.
And on that note, thank you everybody for watching. We will see you again.
Thanks to all our viewers as well, of course. Sorry.
We'll see you again here first Saturday of July. Maybe.